Welcome back once again inside Horsburgh Gymnasium. Case Western Reserve with a 43-23 lead in halftime of the women's game. I'm John Schwartz, and alongside me, again, a special feature we'll be doing throughout each of our games this year. Talking to the head coach from a different team at Case Western Reserve. Hopefully try to get you exposed to some different things. And this is Brandon Bianco, our head men's soccer coach, will be joining us here today. Coach, first of all, thank you for joining us. First, let's start this. Your thoughts on the game here at halftime. Pretty good start for the Spartans to begin conference play.
Ladies are flying. They, I've been fortunate to get to a couple games this year, and they've been playing really hard and really well. And it's nice to see, they get a couple of weeks here with a bit of a break, but the last week or so coming back from finals to put it all together has been great. It's been great.
I'm good.
Yeah, they're shooting the lights out, so that always helps.
Always a good start. You talk about this, and we talk about the start of conference play, and really the basketball teams battle the same thing that you guys do in conference play, and that's you're playing in one of the toughest conferences in the country. Travel is certainly fun and a perk, but really hard, and you're playing the top teams in the country almost every time you play a UAA game. Talk a little bit about that from the soccer perspective, the grind of going through a 7-game conference schedule in the UAA.
Yeah, when you first factor in just the soccer season itself, you're playing a lot of games in 10, 11 weeks, so that's an animal that you have to manage. But then when you factor in conference play, and you have not only your single game weekends where you're playing a team, oftentimes one of the best teams in the country, and having to factor travel in, that adds a layer of complexity. But then the ones that are really tough are those double Friday, Sunday weekends, and you're playing somebody really good on Friday night, and whether that game goes well or poorly, doesn't matter. You have to turn around and get the group ready to go for a 1:30 start on Sunday, or 11 a.m. in some cases. So, it's a great challenge. It's a fun challenge, and it's also unique, and I think it allows us to attract some of the best kids in the country to Case Western Reserve, because they want that level of rigor on the field just like they get in the classroom.
Yep, again, head coach Brandon Bianco of the men's soccer team joining us. Brandon, let's go back to the 2018 season.
Sure.
You guys reached the Elite Eight, one of the best seasons in the history of Case Western Reserve athletics among any team. What made that team so special that they were able to get to that point of the year? Obviously talent, but a lot of teams are talented. What made that team, get to that point?
Yeah, I certainly think about that team a lot. We've been really fortunate in the 7 years that I've been here to just get great people in the program. They're motivated by what they want to do in the classroom. They're certainly motivated by the things that they want to achieve professionally, and soccer's no different. And so when you get a collection of great people and they're in a good environment and they care about one another, I think special things can happen. In 2018 was a year where we had really great leadership, some young guys that were wonderful followers, and you got to get some breaks to go your way, and I think we got some of those early, which gave the guys some confidence. So if nothing else, I think it just shows what this program and what this department's capable of, and you can do some special things when you have really cool people in it.
One of the questions I always like asking coaches is that when you put together a team, obviously, you always have to tweak things a little bit, move things around, but if you were to put together your ideal team on the field, what would that look like for you? Play fast, play slow, kick?
Yeah.
Talk about what you think your ideal team would look like.
I love the word relentless as I think about a soccer team, and I hope our ideal team is just relentless in all aspects of the game, and whether that's with the ball, I hope that we're constantly putting teams under pressure and making them uncomfortable and making them defend, and then when we don't have the ball, I hope we're relentless in going to get it and making them uncomfortable even if they have the ball. So when those things are happening, I think you're going to have a team like our 2018 team, which set the record for the most goals scored in program history. We had more goals scored than any team in the UAA that year, and so but goal scoring is one part of it. Hopefully, when you're building a team, it's a team that's also really balanced, and defensively you're really sound and tough to break down. And some of the characteristics are going to be the same in soccer as they would be in basketball or football. And if you're relentless, if you're tough to break down, if you're committed to whatever your style of play is, I think you can do some really special things.
I might be shorting you a year, but this is the end of your 6th season here, correct? Seven. Yeah, I was shorting you a year. End of your 7th season here.
I had a lot more hair in year 1.
That's didn't we all? But end of your 7th season here. You've now been working with a Case Western Reserve student athlete for 7 seasons. what makes these athletes so special, so unique? What is it about this group that makes it a fun group to work with?
Yeah. I would say my program isn't any different than certainly any of the programs in our department, and the kinds of kids that we get in this department and in our programs are just incredible people, incredible student athletes. They're driven by everything that they try to achieve in their lives. Soccer is certainly a part of their puzzle, and when you get kids that have their priorities in the right place and they're motivated by the things they want to achieve in the classroom, and it's just a really special group to be around. They're doing internships and co-ops and research, and again, we're not the exception. I think we're the norm for everybody in the department. And these kids are incredible people, and so when you get to work with them every day, it's just an incredible joy and a lot of fun.
Well, and you talk about some of what makes them special. I imagine that also provides some extra challenges to you when you have a kid that's on an internship or a kid that's on a co-op, may not be able to make practice. I imagine there's a lot of flexibility that goes along with that as a head coach.
The thing I tell the families all the time, and student athletes when they visit, is our biggest challenge is balancing the academic and athletic life. It's certainly what we do best, but it takes work every day. And I think our kids come to a place like this so they can do internships and research and have a really rigorous academic experience, but that doesn't mean that they can't have an incredible soccer experience as well. They can do both at a really high level. It takes some balance, it takes some work, but when you see the kinds of things that we're able to do athletically, and you combine that with the fact, our team GPA last semester was a 3.51. All the kids are doing great things, and we're no different than any of the other programs in the department. And certainly it takes a balancing act, and it takes communication, it takes time management, but all things that we're really capable of doing at a high level. So
absolutely. Well, I'll give you the last couple minutes here to kind of talk about yourself, talk about your program, whatever you have kind of on your mind, your selling points of your program, things that you want people to know if they come out and watch a Case Western Reserve soccer game about you guys.
Yeah, I think you're going to see a group that's really committed to how we go about doing things, and you can only judge a team by the quality of the work every day. Certainly you can point to wins and losses, but that only tells a part of the story. And I've been really proud over 7 years that the way we go about doing things, the way we've built a true program with people committed to one another is something that I'm really proud of. Just the other day we had an alum that was in town interviewing for his residency at one of the hospitals, and it was great to catch up with him, and I think it just connects all the things that our program's about, which is being really high achievers in and out of the classroom. And I'm really excited. The guys get back tomorrow. We'll hit the ground running with off-season stuff on Monday, and when I see a group of guys that are really motivated by the things that they are working to achieve, it motivates me, and it drives me to try to give them the best experience that I can. And I love our guys. I'm really happy with the program that we have, and I'm excited for the future.
Brandon, thank you again for joining us today.
John,
it was awesome.
Good to see you.